Laura Ingraham has done it again. This time, she has put both of her big feet in her mouth. Yes, Laura Ingraham at Fox has done it again. You may recall Laura had to take a forced vacation when she made a comment about one of the students who just came from a traumatic shooting in the high school in Florida, and she didn't have anything better to say. And she was forced to go on quote-unquote vacation. This time, she's done it again. She put both of her feet in her mouth. I don't know how she's done it, but she managed. I usually don't go personal on anyone because the very purpose of this program is to achieve a more perfect union. But something just cannot be ignored. This lady you're currently looking at on your screen is Laura Ingraham. I'm not sure what she was thinking, but she takes on Lebron, who made comments about the President of the United States, and she figured out that she should defend the President. Now, before I discuss shortly as to what that means in this conversation, in the discourse around the country, let's just have a quick look at what really happened. Here is an explanation of the whole evolution of this conversation.
This was not a little one-on-one action. This lit up social media, and I mean fast. The tweets from all kinds of people flying. LeBron now making his move, firing back on whatever her name is.
Well, that was kind of an introduction to what will follow shortly. But the bottom line is, with all the things that are currently ongoing in the world and around the country, just like the President of the United States would just forget about everything that's important running the country, would go after the NFL player. Of course, he's not alone. He has plenty of help at Fox. So let's just see for a second what Laura had to say about James.
We're going to create a new banner. This is a Jum Doc alert.
Laura Ingraham showcasing this video from The Uninterrupted featuring James and NBA star Kevin Durant.
The #1 job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people.
I feel like our team as a country is not ran by a great coach.
Must they run their mouths like that? So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
That statement quickly lighting up social media. Other pro athletes jumping to James's defense, many calling Ingram.
Seriously, Laura? Seriously? The last time that I checked, James Lebron is an American citizen, and everything that the President of the United States does impacts his life as much as it impacts everybody else's life. So what would make it not okay for LeBron to comment on what the President of the United States has done? Besides, last time I checked, that is his First Amendment right to speak, just like everybody else who is impacted by what the president is doing. But what I'm actually not sure about is, unless someone is blind, how could you not see that the President of the United States, from day one that he joined the political domain, he has been divided the country? But that's not really what's happening with Laura. Now here is in very short take what's really going on at Fox. There has been almost what I would consider a fierce race to become the biggest idiot at Fox. Currently, it is a title that is held by Sean Hannity and competing with Fox and Friends. So Sean Hannity has been for the longest the biggest idiot at Fox. Nothing that comes out of his mouth is of any substance. And by the way, that should tell you why the President of the United States is so darn stupid on everything that he says and lies about everything and about everybody, because he gets everything from a source where truth and facts do not exist. So ironically, for a reason that I'm not sure I understand, Laura is getting into the race with the rest of the team at Fox to try to kick Sean Hannity out of the #1 spot. You know what's worse than an ignorant person? I know, I just couldn't believe that, and she came afterwards trying to explain that it wasn't a racist take. Now, I'm not sure of anybody who has been watching Fox, unless you were to be completely stupid for you not to know that Fox is a haven for racists, bigots, racists, everybody that has racist discrimination tendency goes to Fox to express it, and usually they get really very great welcome to speak their mind. So the idea that it wasn't intended as a racist comment, I mean, she can say whatever she wants. Of course, she has to defend herself, but the bottom line remains that everybody at Fox always takes the opportunity whenever there is a minority involved in the conversation, black, Hispanic, Muslim, what have you, you go to Fox, you cannot miss it. So what Laura is doing at this point is not anything new. It's not that we don't know that she is as racist as Sean Hannity, as Tucker Carlson, as Fox and Friends, as anybody and everybody, and most everybody that actually set foot at Fox to talk. Most of them, they already have that written on their forehead that they are racist, they discriminate, or they simply leaning that way. And I can take a bet that 90% or so of people who work at Fox and go to Fox, those people have a tendency of being racist. So I do not buy the excuse that Laura provided. But what's actually sad about this is not just that, because I already know, I have been talking about that. I actually wrote about that several times. I don't know how many articles I already wrote about Fox. Its tendency, it's almost as if it's impossible to even explain as to how in the world a network, usually news organization, publication, would be more likely than not trying to educate the public, trying to get them to move away from their ignorance. And yet at Fox, it is a given. If you tune into Fox, you become more ignorant than before you watch Fox. Now, here is what's going on currently with Laura. She is racing to get the trophy from Sean Hannity. Now, today, there are at this point, there are this race, and this is the what I call the team whose mission at Fox is to destroy America. Now, they can talk all they want about what they have in mind, but when people can say anything that they want. In fact, if you listen, Trump has been saying no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. That's what he is saying. But in reality, everything points to the fact that he did indeed collude with Russia. That's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is to point out the fact that there is a network that currently that put the word news at the end of the network just to masquerade itself as a propaganda machine and make people more stupid than they were before they start watching. It's unbelievable that you have, instead of people competing to get better, because usually that's the way it is with human nature. You try to get better. You try to move forward. You try to progress in life. Ironically, at Fox, this is a race to the bottom. Those people that you're currently watching, those are the people that actually are racing to make things worse. You know what is worse, and I understand when Laura makes a comment about Lebron, because her comment trying to say, well, Lebron didn't get a college education. I think that's what I grasped from what she was trying to say. Now, if she looks inside Fox, she couldn't possibly miss Sean Hannity. She could not possibly miss Sean Hannity in that same boat. So I'm not sure what she's trying to say, but you know what's worse than an ignorant person? It's a foolish person with a college degree. That's exactly what Laura is. It's just an ignorant person with a college degree. So I'm not sure, taking that aspect, to say that LeBron didn't have a college degree, so he should shut up and play and dribble, as she put it. In other words, you don't have a say in the country. I think maybe she for her law degree, maybe she missed that class where this is everybody's First Amendment right to speak and to talk about what the official, the elected official, the elected people who are elected by individuals who are elected by the people, they have to account to the people. Maybe she missed that class when she went for her law degree. This is whether you're a celebrity, whether you're at the bottom of the ladder in the social status, that is your right to question what your government is doing. So that was the show to go after after LeBron. That's exactly what Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has been doing. Just go after people who protest government wrongdoing. Now, that station kind of help. They don't even hide that fact that this is a propaganda machine. Now, this is sad, but here's what I would try to see if I can get to accomplish, because as I mentioned, the very purpose of the fourth branch is not really to go get personal with individual, because the whole idea, the main focus is to try to achieve a more perfect union. But there is one thing that becomes the biggest obstacle to achieve that, is ignorance. And what I have found out is you have a network, Fox, that has dedicated 24/7 just for one specific goal, to dumbify its audience. So anybody, and this is not a Democrat or a Republican matter, it is an American matter that you have a network filled with people who have just one goal in mind, to dumbify its audience. So anybody that actually listen and take what's coming from Fox as the Bible truth, it's a guarantee that those people are as dumb as the people that they listen to. According to a survey, 82% of the people who listen to Fox on a regular basis are completely ignorant of the facts and the truth. This is a serious problem. If we think that Russia involvement in our election is bad, and it is, involvement of any foreign entity into our system of government is a bad thing. This is not to diminish the important. It is bad, but ignorance is what destroys countries. And authoritarian dictators, they rely exclusively on people being ignorant, on people being misinformed, and they rely on very specific propaganda machine to help them keep their position, strengthen their position, and destroy freedom, destroy liberty. Unfortunately, we have a network that's called itself news, that actually helping the president of the United States destroy the country. They don't see what's listening to Laura speaking. It's almost as if you think those the people at Fox live in a completely different world from reality. So Lebron was talking about how the president of the United States is dividing the country, which he is doing every single day. He calls the media enemy of the state. For God's sake, where do those people live? Where do they get information? What is in their brain? Ignorant with a college degree is actually very dangerous for this country. And at Fox, that's what this country has. More than 100 million people follow Fox on a regular basis. My God, my God. In a generation or so, this country will not be the country that was left behind by the framers of the Constitution, because this is over. A president who wants to destroy the country at all costs, a president who wants to crush freedom, to destroy liberty, to destroy the institution, and now a network that's helping that happen, that's making that happen. My God, I don't know if anybody out there who has at least a brain to understand that this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable for the president of the United States to do what he's doing, now to have a propaganda machine brainwashing millions of people into believing every lie that the president utters. My God, this is not a country that will be recognizable in a decade. And all is that is for one reason, so that they can make some money and one can try to topple the other. So now Laura is trying to kick Sean Hannity out of the top spot, the top idiot spot, so that anything happened to Sean, she would be next in line. But she forget that Tucker Carlson is doing the same thing. Fox and Friends is doing the same thing. It's a race to the bottom at Fox. Folks, I'm gonna say this. I take this opportunity to talk to you about this important time in our lives, because everything that's being done in this country is framed in such a way it prevents a solution from being found. It prevents a solution from being implemented. Everything is framed between Democrat and Republican. So if you're a Democrat, you dig your heel in the sand so you won't move from your position. If you're a Republican, you do the same. The problem that we are confronting today, the problem of Fox going and just speaking lies, distorting facts, and representing a propaganda machine for Trump, this is not good for the country. No matter how you spin that, no matter how you try to change that around, it just doesn't compute. As people become more and more ignorant, the country doesn't get better, because ignorance, and I say that over and over and over again, the biggest threat to our democracy is ignorance. In fact, the biggest threat to any democracy is ignorance. The biggest, not one of the biggest, not just the biggest threat is ignorance. And for 2 decades now, it didn't start yesterday. In fact, when people were talking about Trump being a bigot, being a racist, and so on, the country didn't become what we're seeing today on the street, what we're seeing at Trump rallies. Those things didn't start yesterday. Trump didn't turn all those people into racists. They were already here in the country. They were there in the background. Somehow they were being they were going away in a sense, because they couldn't possibly manifest their racism overtly as they're doing today. The only difference is they were always there. They're everywhere, whether it's at the supermarket, on the street, the cop, the judges, the attorneys. Everywhere you go, those racists have always existed. What have changed is now they have the racist in chief in the Oval Office, giving now legitimacy to all of them on the street, now overtly just putting it out there. And Fox, so trying to change one racist at a time will not work. It's impossible. So the problem rests at the door, at the front door of Fox. What we're seeing in the country today, the divide that we're talking about, is due almost exclusively to ignorance of a very large sector of the population. I would say that 95% of the people who used to be the Republican Party, now the Trump Party, those people are by any definition ignorant of everything that's going on in the country. Now, how can I possibly know that? I have had conversation with a number of Trump supporters who want to bring to the surface the fact that this person has a college degree, this person has a master's degree, that person has a PhD. Now that is a sad thing to hear, because usually you would think people without a college education could be so gullible, could be so naive. But how do you explain having or flaunting your college degree, your college education, but at the same time being so naive, so gullible to believe someone who every time he opens his mouth, he lies, and yet you still believe that person? Now, how do you explain that? How do you square that? How do you square someone, especially today? It's impossible to even understand the rationale, because today you have so much possibility for you to see. When someone tells you something, you can quickly Google that and see that it's false. My God, this is ignorance to a level that impossible to explain. Because in the beginning, during the primaries, there was these rumors that the pundit thought that the people who were supporting Trump were a bunch of uneducated people who didn't go to college. That actually made sense to think that was the case. But how do you explain someone with a college degree hearing another individual who sounds as dumb as it comes, telling you everyday lies that you can quickly, without any, you don't need anybody to tell you it's a lie, and yet you still believe that individual? How do you explain a college educated individual putting its trust on Trump? Now, I understand how it happened, because I know what brainwashing does to people. People have committed a mass suicide in a cult where they believe whoever tells them what they would be expecting on the other side. So I understand the cult psychology that those people are currently under. For it's almost as if they don't. It seems that there is only one way of understanding or explaining this phenomenon. It's to say those people are hypnotized. They cannot move away from watching Fox. It's almost as if they're glued to a station that they know that only tells them lies, that distort information, that misinform them, and yet for reason that no one can explain, they cannot move away from that station. Now, you don't have to be a genius to see that every Republican, now member of the Trump party, everything that they want to say that they know is a lie and don't want to be challenged, they go on Fox, because Fox simply, no matter who is the host, simply hand them the microphone to say whatever that they want. Now, the people, unfortunately, who watch Fox, they have an ego problem. They have a fragile emotion that they want to be massaged by what they hear at Fox. Because at Fox, they tell them what they know that they want to hear. Any conversation today that you have with anyone on the Trump side, if it's not something that's good about Trump, they don't want to hear it. As far as what you call truth, they don't care about truth. They just want you to say that everything that Trump is doing is great. That's why, as time goes by, even Trump himself realizes that that investigation is now knocking at his door. He's not stupid. He realized it because he knows what he's done. And yet the people that those people, the blind, the hypnotized people that follow Fox, are so blinded by whatever brainwashing they're receiving there. They cannot see that the President of the United States, in the history of the United States, the occupant of the Oval Office has collaborated with a foreign entity. This is not small, folks. This is not a walk in the park. It's the highest level of treason in the country. The highest level that the person who is in the Oval Office did not have any qualm working with a foreign entity. Now, mind you, the United States' greatest enemy. And my God, and for reason that only those people can understand, Trump is calling it a witch hunt, and they just repeating it. Any news that comes to show that what Trump has done bad, if you go on Fox, and that's one of the reasons it's so difficult for Trump supporters to understand what's going on, because any bad news, any proof of what Mueller has been finding about Trump is not reported at Fox. In fact, what they do at Fox is distorting the information, misinforming its audience. So it's not a mistake. It's not something that's done by mistake. It's not an error that the hosts at Fox are making. Because real news network, when they make a mistake, they come back and correct it. But at Fox, it's a deliberate action to misinform its audience. You're not going to hear about it because it's detrimental to Trump. So people who simply tune into Fox are completely oblivious of reality. As far as they are concerned, Trump is the best thing that has happened to America. Let me tell you, folks, Trump is the worst thing that has happened to America. Never in the history of America has the president collaborated with a foreign enemy of the country. No, Trump cannot be the best thing that has happened to America. Trump is the worst thing that has happened to America. So, what is the solution? And that's what we propose here at the Fourth Branch. What is the solution? The solution is actually straightforward and simple. Let us stop Fox. You cannot solve the problem piecemeal by trying to talk to individuals about the problem. It's not going to work. because for 2 decades, Fox has been doing that, has been brainwashing people, has been lying to people, has been misinforming people. So trying to get those people to understand that it's impossible. It's like someone who suffers of a disease and refuses to be treated because they believe in miracle. Somehow, the only miracle that can happen for Fox audience is Fox. So people, here is the solution that I propose for this problem. It is a serious problem, and that the first important step to recognize. I understand why news network do not take the opportunity, do not take the task of actually spelling that out for people in America. Fox is not a news organization. Fox is not a news network. In fact, ironically, they have a lot of shows, and I used to watch Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart used to do a much better job researching the topics he wanted to joke about and provide actual news to its audience. Fox doesn't even bother to do that. They simply put someone on the air that will lie to you every step of the way. Sean Hannity is the top one. That's where the President of the United States gets its cue. Sean Hannity. My goodness. And Laura has the gall to tell a citizen of the United States he has no business talking about politics? Is he not a citizen of the United States? Is he not? Doesn't he have the same First Amendment right that everybody has? Doesn't his life get impacted by that moron in the Oval Office? So why wouldn't he have the same right to criticize the President of the United States? I remember very clearly when Obama was in the White House, you tune into Fox, the kind of vitriolic language that I heard on Fox is not something anybody would want to revisit. And yet, for that idiot with a college education, that fool with a college education, has the gall to say that to shut up and dribble? Seriously? Seriously? Yes, we need to do something about Fox. We know Fox is not a news organization. There is no debate about that. There is no if about that. Everybody who watches Fox, you just need 2 minutes of your time to watch Fox. Any host will do. Anyone who watches Fox knows that Fox is not a news organization. Now, the solution, I don't hold the perfect solution to the problem. However, I can propose the following. Fox can do that, can manage to keep lying to people for 2 decades, is because it's being supported by advertisers. And the best way to force any organization to change course is to hit that organization where it hurts. Money. So I propose a movement to begin a campaign to hit Fox in its pocket so that the executive at Fox find it necessary to start forcing its host to speak the truth, to report the news instead of lying to its audience. Because as I mentioned, it's near impossible to try to turn America into a better country unless the source of misinformation is destroyed. And currently, the source of misinformation is Fox. So this is the beginning of this movement to help save America from Donald Trump, to help save America from Fox. Fox represent actually a much bigger problem than Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is just one person, but Donald Trump uses its propaganda machine, and Fox is it. Yes, it does use Twitter as well, but nothing does a better job of spreading propagandas than Fox network. So let's start this movement. Let's make sure that Fox feels the importance, the necessity to change course. Because as of date, as I'm talking to you, since Fox has been in existence, it was not built to be a news organization. It's masqueraded as such, but it's not. So let's change that, because that's the only way to save America. The source of misinformation, the source of distorted information, the source of false information is Fox. So we need to stop that. And today, Laura Ingraham is the culprit. And this is not by accident. That wasn't by accident. This is the standard at Fox. Don't forget, folks, the live program here on the Fourth Branch is on every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Every Saturday, we debate various issues that plague the country, social, political issues that can impact the country in very big ways. And those topics, we don't discuss them for the sake of discussing them. We discuss those topics in order to bring a solution to problem that Join me here on the 4th branch at 10:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. every Saturday.
I'm Jeff Gannett, CEO of Macy's, and I wanted to take a moment of your time to thank you for being such an amazing customer, because I truly believe that Macy's customers are the greatest in the world. Recently, you said you wanted a simpler rewards program. Well, I'm here to say that we've heard you, and starting this month, we're introducing the new and improved Macy's Star Rewards, a reimagined, simpler rewards program starring you. You said you wanted more savings. All members at every level get 25% off any day you choose with Star Passes. You said you wanted free shipping. Gold status means getting free shipping with no minimum, plus the silver status benefit. You said you wanted better rewards. Platinum status means 5% back in rewards every day on all Macy's merchandise, no exclusions, plus gold and silver status benefits. We want Macy's customers to know they are the best customers in the world. And we want each and every one of our cardholders to know that with the new Macy's Star Rewards, it is your time to shine.
Meet the new Macy's Star Rewards, exclusive to cardholders. Discover your status today.
Thank you for watching our special program today. I hope to see you on Saturday for the continuation of our program on debating similarities between Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump. Let's save our country from this impending danger. I'm MD. And that was Laura putting both of her big feet in her mouth. See you soon.
Now, baby, you're casting your spell on me. I say, now, baby, you're casting your spell on me.